Bridges, train tracks, and even tunnels are being reimagined. A project is about to launch hidden beneath one of the trendiest neighborhoods in the nation's capital. Kris Van Cleave is underground this morning. Kris, hello.
Good morning. This is one of those spaces few people in Washington have been to, let alone even know about. Up above us, about 4 feet of concrete in the busy Massachusetts Avenue. Take a look down here. You can see these are old streetcar tracks, and this space used to be full of commuters, but it's been empty, abandoned for decades. That's about to change as this station is poised for a comeback. Dupont Circle is among the most vibrant, well-trafficked parts of Washington, D.C., and it has a secret hiding just below the surface and out of sight of all those passing by. And we're really walking back in time.
We are. This space you'll see looks essentially as it did when it shut down in 1962.
Braulio Agnese is leading a private effort to take a largely forgotten piece of D.C.'s transportation past and make it a key piece of the city's future. Dupont Underground is actually an old streetcar station built in 1949 under Dupont Circle. Its nearly 1 mile of tunnels allowed the streetcars to turn around at the end of the line. When the streetcars stopped running, it went dark. What makes this such a unique art space? Why use old infrastructure?
Partially because it's a good use for the space itself. This space was designed to hold large groups for temporary amounts of time. And given just the kind of raw concrete and nature aspect of it, we think it's much better served as a space to observe and experience art and performance.
A spot where people once waited for a ride could become a gathering place for art like none other. It's one of a growing number of similar projects nationwide. New York City's High Line turned an abandoned elevated rail line from eyesore to miles of open space through the heart of Manhattan that's attracting millions of people, becoming a model for projects across the country. Last month, the first phase of Chicago's 606 Trail opened, a park built on top of the derelict Bloomingdale elevated train line. When completed, the $95 million project will run nearly 3 miles, connecting several neighborhoods and a network of parks. In Philly, more than $4 million has been raised to convert the Reading Viaduct into a similar open space stretching through the city. Dr. John Crothers, director of the Sustainable Urban Planning Program at the George Washington University, calls this trend adaptive reuse.
The things that used to push people out of cities, blight, old, ugly infrastructure, are now things that are attracting people back into cities, especially if we can find new ways to reuse them in ways that enhance quality of life.
Julian Hunt founded the group trying to reopen Dupont Underground using $57,000 raised through crowdfunding.
The character of the space lets you know where you are. So that's the part that I find most appealing.
They'll open the east platform first and hope to raise about $2 million more to open the tunnels and redo the west platform that briefly saw life as a failed food court in the 90s.
One of our objectives is to develop an identity for the city that's separate from the federal image of the city. This is a moment when the city could begin to, say, emerge with an identity of its own.
Organizers hope to have this space open and operating in September. Anthony?
Kris, thanks.